up, guys? This is your girl, Lydia,
And I'm Fati.
the Haruna Girls. This is Two Mics No Limit. And as you can notice, we have a different setting today. Do you guys like it? Ooh, look at us. Look at us. But without further ado, we want to get into
Our topic.
the topic. So, what happened on Twitter?
Well, there was a viral story that originated on TikTok about a girl who basically flew to see a guy that she was texting, talking to. I guess he promised her that he was gonna pay for her accommodations or something like that, but he didn't.
He promised her?
He said he was gonna pay for the stuff. She described him she's like in her 30s, or she's 31 and he's 25. And he's one of those guys.
Is he like a rapper? Like that rapper type?
I have no idea, but she called him a YRN, a young rich, and
okay. So basically she flew out to see him because she thinks he has money.
Yeah,
and then did he pay for the flight, or she basically decided?
I don't think he paid for the flight.
Okay. I think with the story that I seen, I think is Slim Thick something on Twitter. Is that the same one that we were talking about, or am I not?
Oh, that's later.
That's a different one.
That's later.
Hey, okay.
It's just it sparked so much conversation.
So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about flying to go see a guy?
Well, I feel like if you want to go fly and see a guy, you should. But you should be prepared for anything to happen. Okay. So, for example, with this girl and her story, right? She was saying that he said he was going to pay for her, like he was going to give her the money. So she spent her money to get there.
Okay.
They ended up not linking up.
That's a red flag. I'm sorry. What?
They ended up not linking up.
Okay.
And he also was supposed to pay for her hotel, apparently. And I think she paid for her hotel. Like she just paid. Basically, she went there for no reason.
Okay.
Like she okay. And then turns out, okay, so he told her that he had to watch, or like he couldn't get a babysitter. So he had to be with his kid. But in reality, he was with another girl.
Okay. So I'm just, me personally, I feel like unless you are my boyfriend, personally, why am I flying out to come and see you if you're not my boyfriend? Like, let's say that we just newly met. That this is the first link up. Did I come approaching you or the other way around? Which I never do, right? But if, let's say, you're in a different state and like you see me on Instagram, because why am I even talking to you on Instagram when I never seen you? Anyway, so, but
I'm gonna get back to that.
I don't know. I just feel like if you sent me a message on Instagram, like, hey girl, you sent it to like 20 people that day. It's almost like a job application. You keep sending like a copy and paste resume to every girl on Instagram. I don't trust it. It's just,
what if he's seen you and he liked your vibe and he was like, you know what?
You're gonna split tire, because me, you're lying. You have to see me in person to take my information.
You don't have hope like that. There might be that one guy that's into you and he sees your profile and he's like really like actually interested in getting to know you more.
I mean, it could be, but to me, with what I've seen, like even in college, like you see a guy like say hi, and then you go to your classmates and the same guy is in your DMs. And I kind of lost trust after that. I'm just kind of like, no. But to me personally, I feel like if you came to approach me and we've never met before, I feel like to even extend the invite, like, hey, like I want to come and see you, because I don't trust even like going on a first date for you to come to my house to pick me up. So why would I want to like just get up and go to you? I feel like you should, as the man, you should come to me, or like at least us agree to meet somewhere. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's like, hey, like, I really like you. I want to see you. I want you to come and visit me. First of all, don't go on that trip unless you know you have money to return home, in case you want something that you can't give. That's just how I see it, right? Yeah. And then also, I feel like, I guess the question that you're trying to ask is like, should you book the flight or should he book the flight?
I mean, it's kind of like a both thing, because for starters, right? Like, you clearly have trust issues. Like, you not going. That's that.
No, you have to come. I have to know you at least a few times. And then it's like, hey girl, I want you to come see me. I booked a flight for you. Or like, oh, how much is the flight? I want to like chip in for it to come. And then at that point, I'm getting my own hotel, sleeping there. You have your own place. We can meet up and have whatever. But if it's my boyfriend at that time, and there's like my boyfriend, let's say he's working over a different state. Hey, I want to go see him. Book a flight, go surprise him or something. That would not be a problem for me to be like, hey, I'm paying for this to go. But if it's the first time, I'm just not doing that.
So, like, there's no YOLO for you?
Would
like,
you do that?
Listen.
Would you do that?
Absolutely. Girl.
What if it's a killer?
Listen, like, he's just going to have to take me. Like, listen, YOLO.
Yeah.
You only live once. You never know who you just never know. But also, I take your point. Like, because, there is a safety concern.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, I feel like if a guy wants to see you, he's going to do everything possible to see you, where you don't have to go out of your way. I feel like
that is very true.
I just feel like that's part of the courting process. Like, you courting me. So you should show that at least in the beginning, so I know that, okay, this guy, he's serious. And then it's like, as the girl, after you see that, you reciprocate the same thing. I don't think it should be one way based, but at least in the beginning, for me to know that, you have good intentions, or you do like me, if that makes sense.
And I actually agree. I agree with you, especially when it comes to reciprocation, because like, but at the same time, I still feel like it's a two-way street, because yeah, he might want to see you, but don't you want to see him too?
Like, you have to want to see him too.
Like, right. So if you want to do that, why would it be an issue for you to want to pay your way to go and see him? Just because, like, first of all, like, just like you said, anything can happen. You don't even want to fly somewhere and then, like, not have it to come back, or like, just in case something, like, I've heard stories about men canceling women's, like, girls' flights and stuff like that. Like, just on some petty stuff, especially like, even like, just like you said, you probably, if you're meeting up with a guy for the first time, you'd probably get your own hotel or something, or just, or whatever the case is. There are guys, usually when they fly a girl out or whatever, they're expecting something. And once that girl isn't going for, the expectations, then they turn petty. And then now they're like, all right, well, you figure it out. Then now they're canceling flights, or they're kicking you out of the hotel that they booked, or whatever it is. And so that's why it's like, I can see why, or I'm not going to criticize a girl for wanting to, pay to go and see a guy. Like, yes, it's great if a guy gives you the money too, but
at that point, I just feel like then that was the only reason why you brought me out there for. Then it's not. I feel like it defeats the whole purpose of the courting situation,
honey.
You know what I mean?
90% of the time, when a guy wants to fly you to come and see them, that is exactly why they.
I don't think necessarily, because it's like, the girl that bought the spray throat thing.
That's the same girl.
Yeah, the one that bought the spray throat thing to go and, like, I feel like she knows what she's going in there for, or he's a young, rich, whatever, right? But then it's like, if you are the girl that sees that, okay, this guy is so fine, I like how his work ethic is, I know that we can start a family together. The conversation prior to that is not giving that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I want you to come see me. You stay at your own place. The guy plans. I feel like, okay, that's the part of the courting. But if you were meeting up for a booty call, then it's like, you can't expect the guy to go splurge all of that when you haven't even had that conversation. It just doesn't make any sense.
Listen, human behavior doesn't really make any sense, but stuff be happening. Like, I'm telling you, like, stuff like, for example, this guy, right? He was leading her on, like, well, or they were talking for like a month or whatever it was, and she actually really liked this guy. But after seeing that he was with another girl, it's very clear it's extremely clear that he actually, the girl that he ended up spending that Valentine's Day with, or like the weekend with, was the girl that he actually wanted to see. And he invited the other girl because he thought that
just in case
girl
that one canceled. Ooh,
or wasn't coming.
That
so he wanted, like that's just what it seemed like. Especially where, you know, leading up to it, he was like, "Oh, I gotta watch my kid," even though that was a lie. It was and like, then, "Oh, I gotta," and then she's still. But see, and that's the other thing with this girl. Like, come on, girl. Like, you too grown for this. Like, because why did you still go? You know,
because that's what I'm saying. That he reached out to you. He should know basically the value of you to even want to extend the like, hey, I want to get you a ticket for you to come and see me. This and this and that. But if you put it up to yourself just because of, okay, I find him fine and whatever he's telling me I'm believing, then it just kind of, I don't know, it's giving like you don't love yourself. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's you looking for approval. It's like you're trying to win him over when I feel like he approached you. Like you should be the one being won, if that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like more so, it was like she was being persistent when he was like kind of falling back.
Yeah.
And it's like,
then it's giving
that's a little bit cringy. But some of very thirsty. So there was some discourse on Twitter, or X, no one calls it that, about like this topic. Like it was like the most viral thing for like a couple days. And there was this one tweet of a girl who said, she said, "Why would you ever," like, well, it's not a direct quote, but she was basically saying, "Why would you ever pay to even go and see a guy in like in the first place?" You know, and my whole thing is, what's the problem with that? Like, if someone wants to pay to go and see a guy that they like, that's their prerogative. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do with my money because I got the money, and I'm gonna spend my money how I want to spend it. There's no rules to, you know, to any of that. Because if I really like a guy, whether it's gonna be, you know, whether there's gonna be some expectations or not or whatever, and I really want to go and see him, I'm gonna go and see him. Like, you know, or, you know, but I don't think like the importance should be placed on like who pays for, like, I
think that like the question will be like, okay, is it prostitution or is it standards? Because sometimes nowadays I feel like a lot of things have become so transactional.
Yes.
That it's like, okay, I'm flying out. He's a rich whatever. He's gonna give me this. But it's like your thinking behind it is giving the prostitution. It's like, you know what I'm trying to say?
That's what it's starting to sound like. Yeah.
But then again, too, like the standard of like, there's also some girls that have, you know, been the one that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come there because purely they like you.
Right.
But then you see that sometimes like the guy play up in your face because it's like you're doing everything and you're not requiring them to kind of hold their end.
Right.
And then you kind of stuck living with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like basically the bare minimum. And then you have somebody come in where it's like, no, you know, I like this, I like that. I'm not going to take the fact that you say you're not romantic. You know, you have to put in effort. Letting it known right there of like the standard. And he kind of holds up his end of it. Do you understand? So at that point, it's kind of like, what does the quote unquote good girl do wrong?
I don't see, that's the thing. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but like the issue comes in where people try to make it seem like there's a right or wrong answer. Like there were people, actually someone argued with me because she was basically like, you shouldn't be giving your cookie up for free. And it's like, that is prostitution. like that is that. Like where it's like, well, I'm not doing anything unless he pays for this. he didn't send me money for my breakfast, my lunch, or my dinner. Yeah, it's over. Oh, he didn't pay for this plane ticket. I'm not seeing, it's over. Oh, he didn't pay to get my nails or my hair done. And it's like, well, do you like him or do you only like his money? Like, and also he can only have access to you if there's a monetary attachment to it. That is prostitution. Like, that's not like, and I understand, like, you know, having a certain standard where it's like, you know, I'm a kept woman or whatever, but in my humble opinion,
and it always comes from the ones that is not doing anything for themselves
either. Thank you. I was like, if you cannot afford to do the stuff yourself, like if you can't get your nails done with your own money, get your hair done with your own money, buy your own plane ticket, do any of that, you cannot sit there and try to set a standard on another guy to do that for you. Like, because, girl, like, you need to be real with yourself at a certain point, because it's like mainly because you can't just keep relying on another person just so you could survive. Like, that's just...
Yeah. I don't think you should. I feel like if you're, let's say, with someone, nowadays people don't like I said, we struggle to make it together type of vibe, because I do understand where they're coming from. Sometimes you get left after you've been here with him for however many years.
Oh, yeah.
He's made his money and now it's like, okay, deuces, I'll see y'all later. But
as soon as he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. That be happening.
Yeah, no, because I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. Not good. No, but no, okay, but it depends, because sometimes it's beautiful to build something with someone that's actually loyal and isn't going to do you wrong after they reach that level of success. But at the same time, you know, because you know, a lot of men's success really do be built on a woman's back, for real.
Right. And then in that situation, they'll get left, and then it's like, wow, I'm not settling for a guy that doesn't have his life together. And then it's going to be seen like, okay, this girl is being too much of like a high standard, because you're saying that, okay, you have to make sure I'm getting this, you have to make sure I'm getting that. It could be that, okay, she's been let down from the previous time, and now she's trying to make sure that whoever is coming in can hold up their end and also kind of look out for them.
Which, like, because I feel that too, but even think about it on the flip side too. A guy who worked to build something, and then it's like, well, you're gonna come at the end, you know, basically when I reached like the top of the mountain or whatever, just so you could, like, you know, spend my riches after I worked and built this brick by brick or whatever. Like, I mean, that's cool. I'm just saying, like, some people might have that mentality or whatever, or maybe they might be the ones that's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm looking for my queen that I could shower with all my riches or whatever. Like, it depends on the guy, honestly. But even sometimes with that comes with like other baggage. So, you know, there isn't a perfect system at all. Like, there isn't like, there's no right or wrong way. And even if you're scared to, like, maybe your previous situation, the guy used you or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're, and you have like this standard, because it's like, you know, I've learned my lesson from this past situation. I'm not dealing with that anymore. Why not boss yourself up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm handling everything, now, if you say that, somebody might be looking at it like, oh yeah, she's a gold digger or whatever. But it's kind of like, okay, I got to work, I pay my rent, my nails is kept, my hair is kept. You know, I like going out on dates. I like to travel once in a while. Like, I want to build something with somebody. If that person is coming in, I want that person to add on to it.
Right. Be on your level or above it or
do you
whatever.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, I want you to add on to it, then me feeling like, okay, I'm just not receiving anything. And then it's also like sometimes you meet people that kind of tell you off the gate, like, hey, I'm not romantic. I just feel like that is just, you're trying to play with my mind.
Oh, they could go.
Right, it's like you're trying to play with my mind,
None
and
of
it's
that.
like
We not doing that.
you're trying to put me in a box where it's like, don't expect me to do this because you think that, oh, I'm doing all of these things for myself, that you are not like, at that point you don't like me. I always look at it from my point of view. It's like, let's say I have a daughter my age. I said, if I'm a mom and I have a daughter my age, I would not want my daughter to call me like, hey, mom, I just met this guy online and I want to book a flight to go see him. I'll be like, is it the first time you're meeting him, or is this your, like, no. Like, for me, especially for where I've come from, that is unheard of, to be honest.
But
like, I wouldn't want you to do that. And it's like, if a guy, like right now, let's say I go tell my dad, like, hey, my roof is falling. He's going to ask you, like, where's your boyfriend at?
I mean,
you know, so it's like, is that gold digging? Like, I just want, the man should be able to hold that part. I don't know.
There are, because, you know, I kind of believe in gender roles a little bit. But actually a lot of it. There are certain things that men should be doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I feel like there's things where, like, okay, first of all, with the roof thing, like, come on, like, be for real. Like, we're not.
Like, come on. I'm sorry. If my roof is, I'm going to you like, hey, babe, my roof, you know, what are we going to do about it? Because I'm just a girl.
But what if he's not equipped, or what if he doesn't even know how to repair a roof? And you're going to still have to call a professional.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that, like, me personally, I don't want to have to ask you. So if you know that, okay, look, I like this girl. I met her on Instagram. DMs.
Why are you twitching?
Anyways, I met her on Instagram DMs, and, you know, I like her. I'm looking for you to take the initiative. I don't want to have to come and sit there like, oh, I want to see you. And you're just like, oh, really? Okay. And then you're just looking at my face like, I feel like at that point, you don't like me. Like, you're not putting any initiative. If I call you like, oh my gosh, like, oh, my car broke down and I'm on the side of the road, why am I calling you? If I'm calling you, that means I trust you to bring my problem to you. And I feel like that even the guy that is like, I will want to choose for me, for the people that I love, or even my daughter, is to, if I was to have one, is for a man that is like, okay, you know what do you need? How can I help? Even that alone is just like, you are not by yourself kind of thing.
You know, manly,
but if everything,
dominant, assertive.
If everything that is just kind of like, oh yeah, your car broke down, okay, and then you're just looking at my face, or like, hey, my roof is falling apart, instead of offering like either a solution or how we're gonna fix it, I'm kind of left on my own. I just feel like that is not very, like, manly.
It's not.
It's
actually,
not manly.
Like, a wimp could leave me alone. But honestly, but that's like certain red flags in, like, you know, guys, where it's like, I mean, there are men who, like, for example, like, I know someone, right, who, if I was stuck on the side of the road and I called them right now, they'll be like, do I look like AAA to you? Like literally, like, yeah. And I know others who would probably, like, move mountains to come and try to, like, you know, help me.
But so that's what I'm saying, that why are you falling for the one that's telling you that, do I look like a AAA to you?
Oh, that's not. Oh, I'm not.
No, I'm not talking about you. Okay. No. But 9 times out of 10, though, I've seen the ones that are like assholes is the one that the girls flock over.
I know.
Like, why?
Like the YRN. That she went and bought throat spray for. Like, girl, you was about
what?
She was gonna gobble.
I think
gonna gobble down
social media
for someone who didn't even, like, care. Ooh. He didn't even care what really happened. Like, he actually let her still come, knowing he was with, like, you know, because I would be like, cancel your flight.
The STD rates and the HIV rates is so high.
And I'm
because
say, I think ATL.
Are you gonna go do the deed with? Are you gonna put like something over it to put that in your throat, or like where you gonna go and like?
Because she had breath spray too, or breath mints.
But the thing is, though, dude, people forget you can get those diseases from your throat too, as you know that, right?
I know,
so.
No, people don't think about that stuff. Like they just like they think with their other head.
It's like I'm gonna go out there to be freaky.
Like, cause she said she was really messing with his vibe, like, you know, and all she saw was, cause in her video too, she started mentioning like, oh, you know, I've been talking to like this rapper, this like other getting money dude, like, and it's like it was just solely about money to her, and like, which takes me to my next point. I feel like nowadays, like in our generation, or whatever generation, whatever. I was born in 96, okay? So like, I'm gonna just say our generation.
Yeah. 99.
A lot of people, they're like...
Why the What?
Like, okay, sorry.
I'm not 2000.
Like, sorry, young woman. They be calling me auntie. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
What you mean? Yeah.
No. I'm just saying because this year I'm about to be 26. Girl. And I'm just like, wow. I remember when I was 17.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That was crazy.
I could relate. Yes.
That's crazy.
I'm 4 years away
remember
from my
30.
16th birthday. Like, I still remember.
Anyways.
And I'm going to be 29 this year, so there's that, actually. Like, time just be flying.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. Actually, I forgot what I was saying. I feel like in our generation, a lot of people, like, they just place value, or like, just, you know, this person is worth being with because he has money. Or like, it's just like money, like, you know, it has to make sense with the C.
I am
like,
dead.
Yeah, no, I tried.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to do there.
I tried. You know,
anyway, go.
It was here.
Yeah.
But and I feel like it's like we're moving away from like that traditional relationship kind of thing. Like,
I think social media has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, like the romance. It's like, what happened to romance? You know, what happened to the love story? What happened to actually liking someone? What happened to wanting to do, like, how about, you know, like, yeah, I want the $40, but like, how about you also probably surprise them with like a little $40? Like, you know, just because, like, or like I'm just thinking about you gifts, like, for each other. Like, I'm not like, I'm just saying that I don't understand why it seems like everything needs to be so one-sided. Like, it's like, it's always placed on like the guy. He has to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, but what do you do for him too?
Right.
And, you know, because like, just like how we got feelings and we a little emotional, men are more emotional than women.
But the thing is, though, I feel like, let's say a man could say, oh, I slept with this many women and it's looked at as like, oh my God, that dude is like, he got game. But if a woman is going like from here, oh, she's the S word, or she's the W word. So I feel like when it comes to that, it's like they're more kind of like, oh, you have to do this for me before anything, so I have something to at least gain. Because I'm not going to gain the fact that, okay, I've been with you, but I can gain that, okay, you gave me a $20,000 bag. Or I can gain that you did this for me. And a lot of time too is like, the people that are in this issue, it's not the courting way of the relationship. It's so much where it's kind of like they just want to sleep with this person and move on to the next. So it's kind of hard to have that, like, okay, we spent enough time together. Valentine's Day came. He bought me this. He doesn't know that I got this big surprise for you. Some people don't even get to that point.
I know.
So it's kind of like, okay, you giving the cookie away. What are you getting in place of it? Because he can get it as a roster to kind of be like, oh, I've been with that woman. But to her, she feels like she hasn't gained anything if it's not something material. With social media, how social media has made it.
See, but that herein lies the problem. Like, and that's what I mean, where it's like everything just seems so transactional. Like what you're describing is like security. Like, you know, I got, like, you know, I'm leaving here with something.
Right,
that's like what you like.
You're gonna be like, at least he can say hey, but guess what? I got this. Like, maybe like that. That's how I feel like.
But does that really matter for real? Like, do you really place value in that material thing though? Like, because you,
not for me, I don't.
Like,
but
right,
I can see why, especially the even for her to come on social media to say that, it's for clout as well, right?
Yeah.
So when you see so many like people, even though fake or real, portray that life, that's what you kind of aspire to get to. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it becomes like, okay, the baller with the bad bitches, the baller with the bad. So that becomes a national anthem, whereas like it becomes very transactional. Like, oh, I'm not flying you out unless you're giving me something, or vice versa. It's not genuine. There is no, they don't court anymore. It's just like, we don't work. Don't act like we don't. You don't know what you're about to do here. Kind of.
So like, yeah. So like. But like that's just very, because you'll see that less and less people are getting into relationships. Like maybe they might start or try to get into a relationship, but then, you know, it's not, you know, it doesn't really go anywhere because they see that they don't actually really like each other. They just like, they maybe like what they can do for each other or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's like, that's not genuine. Like, that's not anything that's going to grow. And it's like, are we interested in building a family together? But or like, what are we doing?
I saw this post, Jada Wada. She had said that nowadays, all men cheat. So basically,
of course she gonna say that. Come on, girl.
So basically, she wants to be with somebody that she's also gaining something from. So if like, okay, if I know that you're cheating, but you're providing me all of this and I love you, I can overlook it because you giving me all of this. Because hence, the men are not faithful. So if you're not faithful, what am I gaining? Like some women that I know, even in real life, doesn't care as long as like, hey, I am the one at the house. I don't care what he does. I'm the one that he's paying the car note on. I'm the one that he's like paying the mortgage on. As long as I'm the woman in the house, I don't care what he does. But that is transactional. Yeah, y'all have a kid together. Y'all have like living your life together. He's out there doing what he wants because he refuses to be faithful.
And you're allowing him.
And then it's being allowed because at the end of the day, like she said, like Jada said, how many men are you going to be with, including sexually, for you to feel like, okay, this one is faithful? Because in her words, what she knows, all of them cheated. How many of them are you going to leave and go and here and go there and go there?
Listen, you know that meme with the like, it's like the mask. It's like the mask is like a happy face, but underneath it, it's like crying. That's her. Like it's like she's putting on a facade basically, because for starters, you know, like she was holding on to her baby daddy for dear life. She actually really likes him, like, or liked him or whatever, but she's just trying to like justify or like, you know, cover her hurt and make excuses like, oh, well, you know, well, he do this, that, and third for me, or like, well, at least I'm the one in the house still getting like, okay, but you don't have the man, like, and all of this, you wanted the man, but then you realize you couldn't have it, so you're settling for what he can do for you. There are good men out there that actually would treat you the way you deserve to be treated, are actually faithful.
But do you think like, that nowadays women, with the way that the what is it called, the Grab 360 is going, where they all want to just kidding.
What?
Like, it's like, I feel like so many people are so horny. Like, it's kind of hard to stay and look for that
Everyone's
person.
hypersexual, but
right.
like,
because you're not taking your time. Me personally, is like, okay,
That's
you're
true.
that person, there's good men out there, right? But my thing is, how many of them are you gonna go through to go find the good one. If you're not,
close your legs then until you
but
until
that's what
you
I'm
feel
saying.
like...
There is so much things going on where women. I don't want to generalize.
Yeah, because
some women don't love themselves, where they feel like them like having a validation of a guy is something. So it's kind of like they can't stay without that. Like every post, like, yeah, I'm single, but look how long I've been single for. I don't have anybody's son in my life to stress me out. But it's all solely about the guy.
I understand that one, though.
But the thing is, though, why don't you just look at how positive your life is going without it and how you're looking forward to it? But it's always like when you keep talking about it, it becomes like, okay, you have a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of because first of all, it is human nature to want or crave. Oh, I'm all over the place. It's human nature to want or to crave companionship. Like there's no person that's telling you like, oh, you know what? I'm single because I want to be. Yeah, you're gonna say that when you first get out of a relationship because it's like, oh, you know what? I'm free. I want to be single. I understand that feeling.
Or it could be like, I'm single till I find the one that's right for me.
Exactly. But at the same time, but that's still you seeking that companionship. You still want to, you still want a guy. Like, you know, you still want a relationship. You still want to build something with someone. You're not like, oh, you know what? I mean, unless there's something wrong with you or whatever. Oh, let me not.
I don't know.
Because there's some people who really
but that's the thing, though. That's
want
the thing.
Anyone.
You see what you said right there? Unless there's something wrong with you. Why does it have to be something wrong with me for me to be content with, okay, one, focusing on myself, working. You could do that. And hoping to find the right person. I don't feel like...
No.
I don't think it should...
That's normal. I'm talking about like I don't want nobody for life people.
Yeah. No. But that's what I feel like when you say, okay, I don't want anybody for life. I don't want anybody... You talking out of a hurt place.
Yeah.
But you can say that right now, I haven't found the right person. I'm not looking. But if it comes along, thank God.
I feel like that's how it should happen. Like, you know,
but how many times do you see that happen?
It has happened for me. Cinderella story right over here.
Okay. Hey. How
I won't even talk about it. But
how is this in there? Are you sure it's gonna let's give it past midnight.
I won't even talk about it.
We want to make sure after midnight, you know, is there.
I'm weak.
Then it's stamped. It's locked in forever.
No, for real. Right. But I do feel like it's okay to want to work on, because I'm not gonna lie, I was on like a little self-love, self-care, just improving myself journey. And I feel like that's important because it's important to take time to yourself, basically, like outside of a relationship, just so you can learn yourself a little bit more. Because like I've learned things that I actually like and don't like that I didn't really realize before, because I didn't have a dummy in my ear trying to tell me one thing and not. And when I say dummy, I'm talking about a man. No, I'm just playing. Like, am I? I didn't have like that, like, you know, that influence, basically, like trying to, like, you know, convince me of something or love bomb me, or like, you know, or just, you know, or me making excuses or looking at the situation with the rose-colored glasses or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just stepping outside of that period and just like, you know, being comfortable being alone, being in myself, and like just learning myself a bit more. That
is a need.
It is.
I feel like being from back home, Ghana, and here, I feel like a lot of people that I have came across, they're not content with themselves. You know, it's like whenever you say like, okay, like let's say I'm single, like, oh, did you find someone? Did you go out? Like, why is all the conversation have to be about that?
Right.
That doesn't mean that, okay, I don't want to be with somebody, but it's not a life or death situation.
Right.
And then once they leave a certain situation, they get into another one without like it kind of,
Like,
it's almost
without a
like
pause.
they're running away from something. But then I feel like that's when you don't evaluate well, like if this situation is good for me. It's like you don't sit with yourself, like, okay, the last one didn't work out. Did I do something wrong?
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Like, no growth happens.
You know, and that is not to say that, okay, something is wrong with you, but you need to be able to just take that time back, and that's when you figure out what your standards are.
Yeah. Like, or even because sometimes it's important to at least grow within yourself. I hate the word healing, but like that be needing to happen, just so that when you do end up in your next situation, you're not making the same mistake, because nobody's perfect. Like, you're gonna make mistakes in whatever, you're gonna mess up. You know what I mean? Or say or do something wrong, whatever. But just having that accountability at least, so growing from there, so just so you're not repeating the same patterns, or ignoring the same red flags that you weren't okay with before, because some people would really jump from here and go here and deal with the same type of man in a different font, basically. Like,
same shit, different toilet.
Literally. And it's like, well,
yeah,
are we shocked? Like, you know what I mean? And so that's why so being alone,
right,
sometimes is, but like a lot of times I feel like with that, you do kind of feel like you're gonna eventually find the person that your soulmate. I believe in soulmates. So
but I feel like that thing be tricking you, where it's like, oh, this person is doing so good, like, is he the soulmate? Like, relax on that, and
don't think about, like, because it's you're gonna feel it,
because
it's supposed to be a
it's
feeling,
like when you want to
like
see something, you're gonna see that thing.
Exactly.
You get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like just
chill.
I don't know.
Vibe out.
Yeah.
Vibe out.
But be careful. Don't go and get kidnapped, mi pacho, please.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
See, that's something that's gonna happen a lot.
Or
in
like
our
they
society.
use you from some like money rituals or juju. That happens. Please.
Here you go.
Yes, because like, listen, I'm African. We believe in that stuff. Like the first time it's like, okay, come and see me. You don't know where you're going, or like where your scent is gonna be useful.
Listen, YOLO.
Anyway, and
YOLO.
No, I guess like in my opinion though, I would say like prostitution is when it's kind of like we both know what we want. Shop, let's go, like right there. But I feel like standard is like if you're courting me, like we are getting to know each other, we want to pursue something with each other.
Okay.
Then you kind of like let that person know. The guy might let you know, like, hey, I like a woman that can cook. That's something that he's like setting. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
But if it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, if I fly you here, well, you're gonna have to give me something. That is kind of giving prostitution to me. Like, that's in my opinion. What do you guys think too? What do you think the difference between the prostitution and standards is? As a guy, I want to know. I want to know in the comments. Yeah,
because in my opinion, if it has to be transactional and it's solely transactional, that's prostitution.
But that's what I'm saying though. Even let's say you have a boyfriend right now, depending on how you look at it, somebody else might say that is transactional. You say like you believe in gender roles, right?
I'm talking about money.
But that's what I'm saying. That okay, let's say that some traditional roles, the man takes care of the bills, the woman take care of the cooking, the cleaning. Somebody might look at it as like that's transactional.
Reciprocation.
You know what I'm trying to say? So like transaction and reciprocation.
Okay, all right. Let me be specific.
Tomatoes.
No, because like I'm being specific now. Like on some, I'm not gonna come and see you, and I'm not gonna give it up unless you pay for X, Y, and Z.
That's what I mean by shop. You shopping it. You know what I'm trying to say? It's that shop.
Like, listen.
You shopping the thing. Why are you shopping the thing? Like, is that all we here for? If that's all we here for, that's prostitution. But if it's not,
I mean, like, no, I get, because like when it comes to like you were saying, like, maybe like, a man handling a bill, like, But in that, I feel like if there's reciprocate, and you can't sit there and say like, well, the reciprocation is you pay for this and then I'm giving you your cookies. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No.
That's not the reciprocation I'm talking about. Like, as far as like, you know, maybe he might handle like the bigger bills and you're taking care of other stuff, but like it's mutually beneficial in that way. Yeah. But
mutually beneficial. Yes.
Even though, like, at the same time, like, what we're describing is technically mutual beneficial.
Exactly.
But there's a difference, and I think it's a moral
I think it's that
like, it's like a moral thing.
Yeah, and I think it's mostly, I feel like I'm looking at more of also what is the respect they're being given. That, to me, is what I feel like differentiates it. Because it's like, when you're just meeting that person, okay, you're giving them this bag, you're paying for this, you're paying for that for them. When you come, you kind of know what you're there to do. You know what I'm trying to say? At that point, like, I did all this that you asked me to. Shut the fuck up and put your head in the pillow. Hey, like, it's kind of, it's disrespectful. You know what I'm trying to say?
But that's how, like,
that's rude.
But listen, see, and that's the other thing. That's the other side of this thing that I kind of wanted to touch on too, because it's like, what do you think a man might think of you, like, not you, but you know what I mean?
I know
like,
what you mean.
When you're trying to, like, you know what? If you don't pay for this, and this, you're not seeing me. Then he like, oh, well, I guess I gotta go and blow. I gotta blow this on this, but now you gotta give me like. There's discourse.
It's also the way you said it. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Actually, someone just some dude, like, there's like a post on Twitter where this dude sent some girl like $30 for lunch, and she sent it back and was like, oh, like, I'm tired of you low effort men. And it's like, first of all, sister, like, like, what do you mean? Like, you know, first of all, is $30 not enough for your lunch? But you know what? Screw that. He did that randomly out of the kindness of his heart or whatever. But you didn't like that, or whatever. But then, how do you think he's gonna view you as a person who can't even like take a small gesture like that?
You know, that example right there is when I feel like, okay, first of all, you're not even respecting the guy. There's the low self-respecting that I feel like it turns it into the prostitution, because it's like you put, you know, but it's like if you took it as like, hey, I am so hungry today, and I look at my phone and you sent me $30, even for you to take that as like, okay, doing this, okay, if your bill is $100, use that for the tip. You saved $30 today. Exactly. I don't think that's something bad for you for him to. It's showing initiative, and I think that if you care about the guy, that is just to show that, okay, well, he sent me this, maybe that's what he has. But if he has more, it's going to be more. Right. I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's not. Know?
So,
well, at least we could end on a common ground.
Girl, listen, I believe in standards all the way, but I just don't believe in that like hardcore, that disrespectful thing.
Exactly.
And, you know, I think that also respect is a very important thing.
Yes.
If you have a certain kind of life that you're going for, then you attract that certain kind of people.
Exactly.
That is just not what, you know, he does this for me, he goes all out for me. I'll rock and die for him too. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like,
you going what?
If you know, it's like what is it called? What is it? The pose was like, oh, that's my man, I'm sticking by him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's like you.
Oh, ride or die.
There you go.
Okay, girl, you
sometimes the English don't be Englishing sometimes. I'm not from here, okay?
You scared me for a second. I'm like, you about to do what?
Oh no.
Okay, no. But listen. I agree.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. We really want to know what you think. Follow our social medias
subscribe to our channel.
2 mics, no limit. Yes. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.